Greetings, I'm the Bulgarian Troglodyte. So today I'm gonna do the part 3 to my new video series, films on my collection that I need to rewatch. And I have another decent chunk of films here, ready to go. This is probably the second to last episode of this series, although there might be more episodes. It's hard to kind of say because I just kind of randomly pick up films from my shelf to each video, and I didn't have a master plan when I started this series. But anyway, let's go through these Blu-rays and definitely let me know what you think of these films if you have seen any of them. But we have Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence on this Arrow Blu-ray. This is a film that I really love, so that's why I'm really excited to watch it again. And it's by Nagisa Oshima, one of my favorite directors. But I have done a pretty bad job at like rewatching Oshima's films. I have watched Kohatto a couple of times, but then I need to kind of rewatch many of the others. And there are still also some films that I need to watch for the first time, like what's that one? The one that has Shinjuku Thief in the title. Now I'm kinda struggling to remember the whole title, but that one is a very famous one. And then Night and Fog in Japan is another one that I haven't seen yet, and then there are a couple of others as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to rewatching this one. And of course we might be getting a Oshima box set from Radiance soon, because they've said that they are gonna release an Oshima box set at some point this year. Although I'm filming this video just after Radiance announced the next batch of films that they're gonna release, and it had one Japanese box set, but it was the sequel box set to the Ghost Story box set, so more Japanese ghost stories to come. So it wasn't the Oshima set yet, but maybe next month they will announce it, or at least sometime soon. But yeah, great Oshima film. This is maybe way more accessible than most of his films, because he's a pretty difficult director to get into, but this is quite of an accessible film. It has Pete Takeshi and David Bowie in it, so some great actors there. Then we have a film that I have seen once a long time ago, and this is a film that I really struggled with, so hopefully I'm gonna like it more when I get back to it. But it's The Conformist, a very famous movie by Bertolucci. So I really like this film aesthetically, but then kind of everything else left me cold. Although it's a very cold-blooded movie, so it's kind of supposed to do that, I think. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it for some reason. But like I said, I really appreciated the aesthetic, and I thought it was a good movie, well-crafted movie, but I just couldn't kind of connect to it in personal terms. But maybe that will change when I watch this again. I think I picked this up in FOB Covent Garden, because they often had those Arrow Blu-ray for £6 deals, and much of my Arrow collection is from those deals. Because obviously when there are £6 you can get like 5 of these for 30 quid, and that was a great deal. And I remember once I went there, there was this woman cashier, and she was like looking at all the films that I got, and she really liked the selection that I got. I think I bought some Argento films then, and I think I had this one on that batch also, and she was like, oh yeah, I love this movie, I love that movie, so it was really cool. I mean, the people who work at that FOB, or at least worked there back then, there were lots of cool people there, yeah. And I love the Covent Garden FOB, and I really miss that. Just like I miss many other places in London, but yeah, anyway. Then we have an Indicator release, actually. It's The Last Detail by Hal Ashby, starring one of my favorite actors, Jack Nicholson. So this film I laughed a lot when I watched it, but I haven't watched it since, so I don't know what my opinion of it would be now. But I loved Jack Nicholson's performance here. I thought the film was really funny at many places, so I had a great time watching it, but I need to watch it again. And I only have a few indicator releases because usually they release the type of stuff that I'm not interested in. They release lots of kind of mediocre British studio films and stuff like that I have absolutely no interest in. Like, I'd way rather watch Japanese films and stuff like that than like random British movies, but they have released a few films here and there that I'm interested in, just like this one. Yeah. Then we have a classic from one of my favorite American directors. It's Nicholas Ray's In a Lonely Place, a film that I really loved when I watched it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Nicholas Ray, but I haven't seen this in 7 years. I got this from one of the 2 for 25 UK Criterion sales. I got this one with Yi by Edward Yang, so great double bill there. But I loved Bogart's performance here. The themes of the film are very interesting. I like the dark and gritty nature of Nicholas Ray's work. But we'll see if this holds up on a rewatch, because since then my taste has changed a lot and I'm not as into classic Hollywood as I was back then. Although Nicholas Ray, I think, will be one of the exceptions, because his films kind of and his style really stands out in Hollywood of that time, because he was willing to push the boundaries and do things that were a bit more kind of controversial, yeah, and darker and grittier, yeah. And we watched Bigger Than Life for the podcast last year. That was my second time watching that, and that's a Nicholas Ray film, and that really held up well on a rewatch, so I hope that this one does too. Yeah. And Bigger Than Life, I unfortunately don't own the Criterion Blu-ray for that one, but I would really love to get that at some point. Yeah. Then we have another Criterion Blu-ray. It's Metropolitan by Whit Stillman. So this was a film that really surprised me. I liked it way more than I thought I would. I think I got this because it was so cheap in a sale or something. There used to be those one Criterion for £10 deals on Zoom, the website Zoom. So I got lots of those for £10, and some of them I actually regret getting, like Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King, because I never want to watch that film again, but because it was £10 and a Criterion, I got it. Yeah. But this one was a very pleasant surprise, but again, still haven't rewatched it, so I don't know if it will hold up well on a rewatch. Yeah. Then we have The Vanishing. This is the Region A Criterion for it. One of the best thrillers of all time. And this is of course the first Vanishing, the original, not the remake. And I haven't seen the remake and I don't wanna see it. But this is one of the most disturbing, haunting thrillers that you can see. Yeah, and yeah, I've only seen it once. It was quite a long time ago. I still remember kind of the main beats of the film, but I really want to experience it again sometime soon. And I've been so close to watching this one again many times, but I always end up watching something else or doing something else. Yeah. Then we have a couple of Fassbinders, and this first one actually kind of disturbed me when I took this out of the first Fassbinder Arrow box set, because this has such a weird looking cover, but it's the Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. Yeah. Look at that cover. Yeah, it kind of looks like I was kind of stunned that what the fuck is that cover when I took it out. Like, I didn't remember that it had this type of cover. Yeah. But anyway, this was one of the first Fassbinder films I watched. Back then I wasn't a fanboy of him like I am now. But I liked this movie, but I didn't love it, even though this is one of his most famous, most acclaimed films, and I know my friend Tony, for example, was very surprised when I said that I'm not the biggest fan of this film, but it might be that I just wasn't a fan then, but maybe now that I am a huge Fassbinder fan, I've gone through most of his important films. Like, I have lots of the kind of early work that nobody likes left to watch, but I kind of watch the ones that people love. But yeah, really need to rewatch this, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it way more now, but who knows, maybe this is one of the classic Fassbinders that I don't like that much for some reason. Yeah. And this next one is another Fassbinder, one of his most famous films, and another one that I liked but didn't love, but this one I also watched very early on before I became a fanboy, but it's the Marriage of Maria Brown. Yeah. So really looking forward to watching both of these again. And I've been thinking about Fassbinder a lot recently because I randomly rewatched Fox and His Friends, which is one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. And I just enjoyed watching it again so much because I, again, of course, love that film so much. So after that, I've been in a Fassbinder mood, so maybe I should really watch this again, like very, very soon. Yeah. Then something quite different. So this is actually a mainstream art house movie from the 2010s, and it's an English language movie, believe it or not. So it's Jonathan Glazer's Under the Skin. I watched this back in 2018. Liked it a lot, but it didn't become a favorite or anything. But I sometimes think that, oh, that was a pretty interesting movie. Like, even still this day, even though it has been many years ago. So I've been kind of thinking that I should really give this another watch. And Scarlett Johansson was really great in it. The aesthetic is good. The idea is pretty interesting. Lots of great scenes in the film. So I'm really looking forward to watching this one again. Yeah. And I need to watch some other Jonathan Glazer films as well. I mean, I watched The Zone of Interest, which I had kind of mixed feelings about, but overall it was a good movie. But then I haven't seen his other films, I think. Yeah, although he hasn't made that many, but he made the film, what was it called? It was mentioned here, Sexy Beast and Bird. So I haven't seen those two films, but I need to give them a go. Then a huge classic that I haven't seen in such a long time, it's Casablanca. So this was one of the first classic films that I ever watched. And back then I wasn't still kind of used to the early filmmaking kind of styles and black and white films, etc. So I think that might have been one of the reasons that I didn't like this film actually that much. Although I remember also thinking that the film felt really artificial, and that was something that put me off. And I think that might still put me off because artificiality often isn't my favorite thing. Although of course it can work in some places, but yeah. But of course it's such an important film, so I need to give it another chance. And I didn't hate it or anything, by the way, but I just didn't love it either, so yeah. Close Up by Abbas Kiarostami. This DVD I got from the Oxford Street HMV. Film that I liked a lot when I watched it. This was the first Kiarostami film I ever watched, and I was a novice cinephile back then, so this was kind of mind-blowing in that way because I had never seen anything like that back then. And I mean, there still aren't that many films that are like this, even now that I have watched so many more films. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna like this one even way more now that I'm older and more experienced, so I need to give it another go. Yeah. Then these three films I absolutely loved, and they are also by Abbas Kiarostami. It's the Coker trilogy. I especially love the first two, but the third one I also consider a favorite. But yeah, I watched these a few years ago, maybe 4-5 years ago. And this Blu-ray set is so nice. Like, yeah, great looking set. Really glad that I have this. And 3 5-star movies and lots of special features here, and there's the film Homework here as well, which is good. Although I'm not gonna watch that again soon, although I'll probably watch it again at some point in the future, but I'm not interested in rewatching that one currently, but I'm interested in watching the actual Coker trilogy again, because they are masterpieces, like I said, so yeah. Then, last but not least, we have Hirokazu Koreeda's Afterlife, which I saw in the cinema. Of course, I just made a video about my cinema experiences, and I mentioned Afterlife in that video too. But it comes from this Of Flesh and Blood BFI box set, which is really nice, really good quality as well. Like you can hear from there. Way better quality than the Criterion sets. Like, one thing that I hate about the Criterion box set is the fact that the material here is always like way worse than with other labels like Arrow and BFI, which is kind of weird because the Criterion sets are more expensive than the Arrow and BFI sets, but for some reason they are worse quality. Yeah. But anyway, that was the selection for this time. I'll do at least one more episode, but we'll see how many films that we'll have, because I haven't planned that out yet. And we'll see if I have to do a 5th part as well. Again, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these films and filmmakers. Don't drink Coke at all. Sayonara and arigato gozaimashita.